Hello children, today I will continue the lesson, the tribute to Netaji. Okay, already we have completed 2 parts now. So, a tribute to Netaji lesson. So, you can open page number 86, page number 86. Hope you understood the first 2 parts of this lesson. I think we have completed until 9th paragraph. No? So, today I will finish the lesson from 10th paragraph onwards. Okay, let us read the lesson, 10th paragraph. Britain was engaged in the World War, and so Gandhiji and Nehru were of the opinion that the Congress should not take advantage of Britain's difficulties. But Bose had strong views and advocated total freedom. He travelled throughout the country to organize public opinion against the war effort. So here Britain at that time, so one side we Indians were expecting our freedom from whom? From British government. Right, in 9th paragraph we have seen even what are the visions of Netaji, that is Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay, he gave one ultimatum, means final statement he had given to British government that they were expecting complete Swaraj. Complete freedom, we want complete freedom, like that. So, but at the time itself, simultaneously, one more thing was happening. What was that? Britain was engaged in the World War. Okay, at that time, World War was happening, Second World War was happening. So, Britain was engaged in that war. So, it could not be possible for Britain to take care of our country also, to involve in our country also, because most of the time, most of the finances they need to put in the Second World War, right? So, that was difficult position for Britons. But we can take that advantage, but Gandhiji and Nehru, as a good people, they never wanted to take advantage of British people when they were in difficulties, right? That is not the good position, right? Even whenever our enemies are in difficult position, we should not take that advantage. We have to wait until the enemy get strengthened in his position. At that time, we had to start the war. So, that is the minimum principle of war, a small principle, basic principle of war. But Bose was not like that. So, he wanted to take the advantage. So, he traveled, he took one decision, anyhow, at that time I have to give good education about this war, about the freedom to entire country people. Like that, he took one decision and he began to do like this. See, he traveled throughout the country. Okay, so he's such a passionate man, right? So he traveled throughout the country. Why? Why did he travel? To underline this statement, to organize public opinion against the war effort. Okay, against the war effort, what was the opinion of people? Whether they can do the battle, they can continue the freedom movement or not. So, he wanted to get that information from the people. So, he was arrested as he was organizing that meetings and all. So, he was arrested on July 2nd, 1940 at Madras. Okay, because he was organizing the meetings against British people, against the war effort. British people thought better to arrest these people. Already so many times they have arrested him repeatedly. Even he was not feeling well. Also he fell ill also. We have seen in the 8th paragraph last line. Right. Isn't it? Here also one more time he had been arrested by the people, by the police. And on November 26, 1940, Bose went on hunger strike to protest against the ill treatment of prisoners. Again, he was here in the jail also, he was not silent. Such a rebellious man, such a passionate man towards freedom. Okay, on November 26 in 1940, again he began to do the hunger strike. Means without eating food, he began to do strike. Why? Why did he do? Because the people, the prisoners, the Indian prisoners who were there in that cell, in that jail, they were being entreated by the British people. The British people are not treating them properly. Who are the prisoners of Indians? Indian prisoners will be there, no? They are not at all treating properly. British people, they are not treating them properly. That's why he began to do hunger strike without eating food. As his condition suddenly worsened, he was released but was kept under the police surveillance. Okay. His fell because he didn't eat food. Hunger strike he was doing, no? So, but at that time, even he was released from the jail, but still police people were observing. He is under the observation of police. Under the police people, they have been observing him. They didn't leave him, though he was released, but kept under the surveillance of police. Bose escaped from the British and reached Kabul, and from there he went to Berlin via Moscow. Okay, he went to Moscow. He escaped from the jail, from the British people anyhow. He could able to escape from the eyes of British people, and at last he went to Berlin via Moscow. Where is Moscow? It is in Russia. Right? So, through that country he went. The whole country was thrilled when his voice was heard over the Berlin radio. When Japan entered the World War, Subhash left for Japan. He went to Singapore and took over the leadership of the Indian independence movement. So, at last, what was his decision and what was the result of that travel? So, the whole country, suddenly they could hear the voice of Subhash Chandra Bose over the Berlin radio. No one knows that Subhash went to Berlin. He went there and he began to give speech over the Berlin radio. Through radio station, he began to give the speech. All together, all the people from India, they heard that voice and they were so thrilled. After that, he went to Japan also. See, he left for Japan. Even Japan also participated in the World War. Though the Japan is very small country, but it is very powerful country. We know it very well. So, even Subhash left for Japan. And after that, he went to Singapore and took over the leadership. So, in the Singapore also, he started the independence movement, Indian independence movement. He continued that. Subhash went to Southeast Asia and organized the Indian National Army. Underline that statement. Okay, he went to Southeast Asia. After that, he organized. What did he organize? Indian National Army. Why did he organize? To fight against the British people. To fight against British people, he organized the army, Indian National Army. Very important. INA. Okay, the Indian soldiers and civilians at once declared their allegiance to him and began to call him Netaji. So, all the Indian people, Indian soldiers and civilians also, they all together, they supported him. And they began to call him with his name Netaji. Okay, they have entitled him as a Netaji. They gave him the name Netaji. He gave them the inspiring call of Jai Hind and Delhi Chalo. Okay, two calls he gave. Okay, Jai Hind, the two calls, the titles of that call. So, what are these two calls? So, it means that he is calling them, calling and inspiring the Indians to join freedom movement against the British people. While launching the war means, so while they were starting the war, what happened? Netaji went on air on July 6, 1944 and sought Gandhiji's blessings in the following verse. Okay, one side, while they began to start the war at that time on July 6, 1944, just before 3 years of freedom movement, our independence. He wanted to get the blessings of Gandhiji's. Blessings of Gandhiji. He was expecting Gandhiji's blessings. So he was seeking Gandhiji's blessings on this air. He went there. And Father of our nation, in this holy war of Indians' liberation, we ask for your blessings and good wishes. Okay, as he thought that was the holy war, because without any selfish motive he was doing that war, right? It is not for himself, it is for the sake of country. Such a great person he was, so we need to appreciate. He doesn't want to get any good name or fame. Just he was working hard for the sake of our country's freedom. So that was a holy war. He declared his war as a holy war because of Indians' liberation, means getting freedom, getting freed from the bondage of British people. That's why he was expecting the blessings of Gandhiji, who was our father of our nation. We don't know whether he got the blessings or not. Let us continue the lesson. The INA fought so well that it soon liberated about 3,200 square kilometers of Indian territory from the well-entrenched British army. Okay, even they fought. So as the war was continuing, they were moving forward and they were getting success like that. So that it soon liberated about 3,200 square meters of Indian territory from the well-entrenched British army. So where the British people have occupied the good place, that place been emptied by them. They got success in that place. Who? Our Indian people. But it was soon beset by various difficulties such as lack of communication and food and rigorous of the monsoon and breakdown in supplies. The war was continuously happening. It was successful. But because of some communication problem, lack of communication, underline that, because of a lack of communication, food and rigorous of other, even the climatic conditions also not suitable for them. So even they couldn't get some certain supplies, maybe bombs or guns, the other armored forces, they couldn't get. On the other hand, the Japanese forces were withdrawn. Even Japanese forces also, they were also withdrawn as the war went badly for them, but the INA refused to retreat, with the result that thousands of soldiers were captured by the British forces. Though they came to know that they are not going to win the battle, okay, because of these reasons I told here. The food supply, communication problem was there, monsoon, the climatic conditions, and the supplies were discontinued. They couldn't get the supplies. They came to know that they are not going to win the war, but they are not willing to come back from the war. They are not willing to stop the war, or they are not going to accept their defeat. So what happened? So many people, so many soldiers were captured. Indian INA people were there, Indian soldiers. They were captured by the British forces. At that time, British people were so strong. We don't have that much. Weapons and all. We don't have. That is the region. So they were disarmed and court-martialed. What happened? They disposed to war. This happened. And Jawaharlal Nehru himself organized and conducted their defense. Of course, he began to support. Ultimately, the government released him. He supported INA, and anyhow, the people soldiers who were all captured by British people, because with the help of Jawaharlal Nehru, ultimately the government released from the jail. Netaji boarded a Japanese aircraft for Tokyo on August 18, 1945. So, on August 18, 1945, he took a flight aircraft. He boarded a Japanese aircraft where to go to Tokyo. The plane landed in Formosa at noon. Afternoon time, in that place called Formosa, the plane was landed. And according to the Japanese sources, it caught fire. So, according to the news of Japanese people, it caught fire while taking off. While getting down, when takeoff was happening, at that time, it caught fire. And Netaji was badly burnt. That thing happened. They couldn't expect that because of that sudden issue. Netaji was badly burnt. How sad, no? But managed to come out of the plane. Anyhow, he could able to manage to come out of the plane. But he was rushed to a hospital where he died the same night. Of course, they did what they could do. They helped him. They rushed to him towards the hospital. They take him to hospital immediately. But he couldn't survive. He died. The same night itself, he died. So, it is amazing how much Subhash Chandra Bose was able to achieve and accomplish in his life of 48 years. Okay, in his life of just 48 years only. He was not that much aged man. So, 48 years of life, really, he could accomplish so much. He was a brilliant student and could have easily attained a high position of power as an ICS officer, right? If he could have been continuing in the ICS officer, as an ICS officer, so many promotion he would have got. He would be in the greatest position, higher position. But everything he sacrificed for the sake of our freedom. But he preferred a life of trials and tribulations as a fighter for his country's freedom. So, all the time he was passionate for our country's freedom. He didn't expect, he didn't desire to have the name or fame or good position in his education or in his career. He didn't care about those things. He didn't bother about this. Just he was passionate for our country's freedom. His proud and independent spirit mocked at ill health and ill fortune. One side his health was not good. He used to feel he's not feeling well. He fell ill so many times because of doing hunger strikes and had been kept in the jail. He couldn't get food and all, right? So many, because of that he got so much of health issues and ill fortune. Even the time also was not good for him. And at last, see, he was a doer as well as a thinker and a fighter who never submitted to defeat. He never used to accept his defeat. All the time he used to fight and fight. He was not getting depressed. Oh, my life is like this. He didn't feel like that. See, he was a doer as well as a thinker. So first he will think, after that he will do according to his thoughts. He is not only a dreamer, just simply sitting and thinking of that, getting dreams and all, but he was doing in the practical way. But he never accepted the defeat. In life, he was a natural leader of men. Right? We have to accept leader of men, and who inspired immense devotion and loyalty. Such a good, sincere man he is. Completely dedicated man he is. We have to, that much deep dedication he has. Sincere man, honest man. We have to accept that. We can't get such type of people nowadays, right? Yes, we have to accept. Truly, it's truth. We cannot get it. In death, he became a legend. Yes, he became a legend, a great person. No one can replace that man. People refuse to believe that Netaji is dead. perhaps they are right, for Netaji never died. So in those days the people will never they were unable to accept the death of Netaji. They couldn't believe that Netaji, such a great and brave man, had died. They couldn't believe, they couldn't accept the truth. Of course, one side it is truth, because Netaji means the people who sacrifices their life for the sake of country. So will be called as Netaji. Not for the sake of themselves, but the sake of country. Those people will they sacrifice their life. Such people are called Netaji. Yes, Netaji will never die. They will be living in our hearts forever and ever. As we have to accept it. So that one side truth it is. Hope you understood the lesson and have the good courage, and also be always inspired. After reading this lesson, I think you are all inspired to serve our country, right? Yes. So even once though he died, still he is calling his Indian people to serve our country. Jai Hind and Delhi Chalo. So if you have interest, so you can join Indian Army and serve our country. Okay, take a decision, good decision, and serve our country always. Not only joining in army and all, so in so many ways you can serve our country. Be sincere, be honest, without any corruptions wherever you are. Thank you.